无论何时，这样的音乐响起，都是我们那一代人共同的青春前奏。
It starts with one thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock takes life away. It's so unreal. It's look down below. Watch the time go right.
The clock takes life away. It's so unreal. 20年前刚上初中的我，在电视机前跟着 𝙇𝙇𝙞𝙖𝙣 Texas Pogo。20年后，已绕过盛年夹角的我，得到了15分钟时间，当面问了林肯公园几个问题。When can we expect a China tour?Hello， 大家好，我是刘恋。那欢迎来到我的频道。那今天这期很特殊，它不是一个音乐科普项的视频，而是分享一下这次突如其来的对我的音乐启蒙乐队林肯公园的一个小采访。如果你和我一样在2000年左右开始听音乐的话，那么林肯公园就一定是我们的一个共享的记忆。在那个港台情歌弥漫在街头巷尾的年代，我自己包括我认识的很多人，可能都是从林肯公园开始听欧美音乐和摇滚乐的。我记得我第一次听到他们应该是在我初中大概13岁的时候吧，然后那个时候跟我一起玩的邻居姐姐就拿出一盘 Live in Texas 的 DVD， 偷偷关上门放给我看，有一种偷看禁片的快感，因为在那之前是没有听过那么燥的音乐的，更别提这样的音乐现场了。然后林肯公园就基本上完全安放了我在青春时的那些迷茫与不安。从那之后我就开始把我的零花钱都投入进了购买 CD 的这项事业。2015年的林肯公园工体演唱会是我第一次真的在线下去看到林肯公园的现场，尽管现在只留下了当时在看台上一段其实极其模糊的手机的影像，但我依稀记得当时虽然现场是有座位的，但到2-3首歌之后就基本上每个人都忘记了座椅的存在，然后全都站起来了。然后我也是在就这样和周围的人一起放声高歌之中完成了我的青春愿望吧。那在2017年 Chester 的噩耗呢，也基本上是在同一时刻宣告了我们青春的落幕。直到今年9月份，林肯公园突然官宣正式回归，并带来了新主唱 Emily Armstrong 和鼓手 Colin Britton。When
I started to hear Emily's voice on things, it was like the first time that my brain would accept it as a Linkin Park song.
并且开始陆续发行的新歌，包括前一阵 S14 的那首 Heavy is the Crown。在这个视频发出来的时候，他们的新专辑 From Zero 应该已经都正式上线了。那不知道你听了之后感觉怎么样呢？那也欢迎来弹幕或者评论区留言讨论。9月底呢，托 B 站的福，我在去首尔看了他们的回归演出之余呢，也获得了一个机会，可以当面的去问他们几个问题，去了解一下这支新团队是怎么聚在一起的。那虽然只有短短的10几分钟时间，没有把所有的问题问完，但是每一个问题呢，他们都答得相当認真。那以下就是当时采访的一些小片段了，那我们走。我们简单寒暄后，采访正式开始。First of all, it's amazing to see you coming back with new songs and a new touring plan. Can you share a bit about what you have been doing in the past 7 years?
First, it's great to have you and meet you, and thank you for the nice words. Very, very kind. I think for us, in that 7-year period of time, there's a good chunk of it where we were just reconnecting back home with friends and family, and from the year 2000 forward, we had so much happening so quickly at a pace that was so fast. I feel like we definitely needed a minute to catch our breath and just take that time to kind of assess what we want to do moving forward. And then once we were at a place where we, Mike and Joe and myself were wanting to see what we could do together creatively, then that began a series of steps that took maybe years and years, maybe 5 years or so to get to where we're at today. So there was a long process in that, and a ton of different emotions. There's a lot of healing. There's a lot of discussions, a lot of growth that we needed to kind of have and go through. And then additionally, a lot of new people coming into the mix and excitement with that and figuring out those things. And it's been a good, positive road at the end of all that to be sitting here with you today and enjoying seeing all of you guys here in this format, and kind of being out playing music again feels great.
Yeah, it's also great to see you coming back. So speaking of the reunion, question for Emily and Colin. How you met the band and decide be the part of it?
It was back in 2019 where Mike hit me up to do some recording session, because he works with a lot of people. So it was just kind of one of those things where it's like, let's write some stuff. I went to his studio and we started writing a couple songs, and, it was really cool. I got to know him a little bit, but it wasn't until, a year and a half ago now, maybe, no, I don't know. So he hit me up to come work again and just see, write something. And it wasn't until then, it was just like, oh, this feels different. Came to a place, I believe, around, over a year ago, where I was like, oh, it feels different. And for some reason, it hasn't really stopped since then, we just started writing and we were just like, oh, this is fun, like, I'll see you tomorrow, and it just kind of took on this evolution. And we just all we just roll with it. And I believe by the time we'd finished the album, we were just getting started. The world has only seen this lineup now for 22 days. So that's an adjustment as well. And I'm very excited about the future and what else we could create together. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this a little bit in other interviews and things, but I mean, the short of it is Mike and I became friends years ago, working on productions and songwriting for other artists, and then he and I became good friends and were working so much that it happened like so slowly, but then all at once. It's hard to explain because it was such a natural progression. Like eventually, Joe you were living in Hawaii. He would come in and say, hey, we want to do a few days with Joe, and Dave would come up and then I met Emily. And again, there was like no expectation. There was never, this question has come up a few times tonight today where it's like, what was the moment? Because everybody wants to know the quick answer, but a real answer is that it just felt like it was natural because they were having to, him and Brad and Mike and these four guys have to, a lot to unpack for themselves, and then bringing Emily and I in it. So it happened all at once and very, very slowly at the same time. So it's like,
if there is a specific time for it.
Well, there was like moments of clarity for me where I was like, oh my God, like this is really happening. But there were lots of those, at different stages. And each of them were just as impactful and emotional for me as the last. But as we got closer, and keeping this all under wraps, under secret, from everybody, really, all of it was very challenging and exciting. And yeah.
So both of you mentioned it's a natural process. Therefore, I want to ask Mike, so what kind of characteristic you find in Emily and Colin makes them stand out?
I think I've said to people before that this is it's like the talent and ability was like the most basic thing that I would expect if we're going to work with somebody, like we only want to work with people who are really talented. But I thought more important to all of us in the, I should say for me and Joe and Dave and Brad, is that when we would do a session with Emily or do a session with Colin or do a session with both of them, it would be so fun. And then you'd leave that session wanting to do another session. I felt energized when I worked with them. I felt the same when we got into rehearsals and stuff. I just felt like it's just really fun to get together. And, we'd finish rehearsals and just end up sitting around in our little hangout space or dressing room for another hour or two, just sitting around talking. I think that says a lot about like how people get along. When you're in a band, it's, you know, you've got to do a lot of things together. You got to, like, sometimes the travel is very difficult, or like people get hung up at the airport or something, or people get like, you know,
Not me.
you have, there's things that make touring like less comfortable and can be a little difficult. But when you're doing it with great people that, you know, you like spending time with, then it just makes it easier. It makes it more fun.
Talking about people, talking about band members, I'm reminded of the concept of the ship of Theseus. If compare Linkin Park with the ship, your music style constantly evolved and you have lineup changes. Therefore, what's the core that you think keeps Linkin Park Linkin Park?
I would say the core is the friendship. I think all of us started off as friends. Like, I remember for myself, I met Mike at art school, and we gravitated towards each other because we shared common interests and shared the joy of music and different art. And then, you know, I was DJing at the time, and then one day Mike was like, "Hey, you want to come meet my friend from high school, Brad and Mark?" And Brad was roommates with Dave at that time, and it was just like, okay, we came, got together, started making music, and just started hanging out. We would hang out at Dave's dorm room at UCLA, did what, like, you know, kids do at that time, at that age. And that same joy, it came naturally with Colin and Emily. The reflection of harmonization in the conversations is easily matched with what's involved with making music.
Following your point of music, you've already released 2 new songs. Those reminds me of your second album, Meteora. Is there any other unexpected new elements we can look forward to in your new album?
I feel like it's similar but different. I feel like it's like there's a lot of Linkin Park DNA in it. It's definitely like a Linkin Park album, but it's a new Linkin Park album.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
If this was a solar system and these songs were planets, that Emptiness Machine and Heavy as the Crown would be in the kind of middle rings. And then there are songs that are closer in the middle, and there are songs that are further away.
Sounds great. I'm really looking forward to listen to the full album. Seems we are running out of time. I just want to know the most important question. When can we expect a China tour?
Ask Joe. Joe knows.
Joe?
Yeah. I really want to answer this, but I can't because we haven't finalized the details. But there is rumors. I'm hearing rumors.
Come on, you have to tell us something.
We don't know anything.
What do you think?
We will go to China. I don't know when.
I hope so.
Yes.
I hope to see you in China. Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
那以上就是这次采访一些主要片段的节选了，虽然挺遗憾的，还有一些我很期待的问题没有时间问到。那不知道大家看完这段采访之后会有什么样的感受啊？我觉得大家最好奇的肯定是他们的新主唱 Emily 了。那我说一说和她当面聊天比较真实的感受吧，就是在采访时我能感觉到她是一个外向、真诚、大方的人。也是一个相对比较愿意给到信息量的人。那 Emily 之前是乐队 𝙇𝙞𝙖 的主唱，然后从05年的时候就已经开始演出了。这个乐队的风格呢，其实也是这种吟唱带有嘶吼，从演出舞台的经验和唱功上来说，都是和林肯公园非常相匹配的。那从现场的听感上呢，你也能感受到他对现场的带动能力很强。在演出的这个歌与歌的间隙时，全场有好几次齐声高呼他的名字，我觉得也代表了他现场征服听众的魅力吧。正如 Mike 在另外一个访谈中说，当他开始听 Emily 的声音，他的大脑第一次能够接受他作为林肯公园的声音出现。那另外一个感受就是我在采访中虽然问了一些不同的问题，但他们最后都会回答到一个他们重点想要表达的点，那就是整个林肯公园的重组，包括新成员的加入，是一个自然而然的循序渐进的过程。 我和我最开始一起入门这个林肯公园的姐姐，对于他们回归这件事情的态度也非常不一样。她是比较难接受，但我是很接受，也很期待他们能够做出更多好听的音乐的。因为如果带入一个乐队成员的视角，我会真的希望这个乐队不只是大家脑海中的纪念品，而是一直鲜活的，一直活跃在舞台上的。所以我很开心他们愿意回来，并且继续愿意写新的歌去唱给大家听，继续在舞台上保持旺盛的生命力。那这也是我第一次端着大炮去拍别人的演出，我切实的感受到了作为一个摄影师的辛苦，特别是中间一度很想哭，但是又没手抹眼泪的时候。那我的泪点也来得很奇特，是在One Step Closer 的时候。那个时候我记得我前面人都在非常猛烈的 pogo， 就我一个人立在原地抹泪。
你在时隔20年之后，你再去看到这样一个现场，然后在这样的一个场合再听到这首歌，再听到这样一首歌，有一种时过境迁之感吧。
其实我也挺后悔的，就是没有在喜欢他们的时候多去看他们的演出，一共也就只看过2次真正的现场，一次是15年，一次是这一次。人是该多看演出的，特别是当喜欢的歌手或乐队还愿意为你奋力演出的时候，那同理人也是该多演出的，特别是当喜欢你的人还愿意来看你的演出的时候。那在这次现场我还抢购了一些 T 恤和卡链回来，就是真是排周边的人都超级多，就是我到最后已经没有 T 恤了，我让工作人员帮我找了几件买回来的 T 恤，非常好看。然后还有这个就是卡链，那就把这些周边送给评论区真心喜欢林肯公园并且祝福他们的朋友们吧。希望大家能关注和收听他们的新专辑 From Zero， 也期待他们还不能对外官宣的中国巡演早日官宣。那好了，我们下次再见吧。